Here's the hard truth. People don't necessarily want you to succeed. And the bigger your dream, the more people that are going to come out of the woodwork to try to stop you. As Oliver Emberton said, the only way to avoid pissing people off is to do nothing important. But if you're striving for something important, if you're trying to make real change, if there's something in your life that you are absolutely hell-bent to make happen, you have got to understand that you're going to be fighting against something. People are going to be pushing back against you, and it is going to be your ability to hold true to that vision that's going to determine whether you can pull it off. And as Victor Hugo said, you have enemies? Good. It means you stood up for something at some point in your life. And that's what people miss. They somehow want to get through this unscathed. They somehow hope that with this grand change that they want to make, that people just fall in love, that they see your vision, that they fall in line behind you, and that they want you to lead them. That's not the way that people work. Having a vision already puts you in an incredibly rare group of people. Being able to see something that other people can't see, that is the role of a visionary, is literally to interpret the world that other people don't even know exists and bring it into fruition and get people excited about it, get them to fall in line. But understand, when you build an army, you will have an opposing force. But as Mark Twain said, keep away from those who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that. But the really great ones, they make you believe that you too can become great. And that's the kind of person that you want to surround yourself with. You want to surround yourself with people that believe in you. You want to surround yourself with people that even when they can't see it, they can see you. Even when they don't understand what you're trying to build, they believe in you and they're willing to get in line and they're willing to meet that opposing force. And when you're able to galvanize people around your idea and push it forward and paint for them the world not as it is, but as it could be, that's when you can make change. But you can't be afraid to piss people off. You have to know that they're coming for you, and you have to be willing to fight. Because if you're not willing to fight, you might as well sit down now. So if you're going to be one of the few that stands up, you've got to stand up prepared for war.
The biggest poison in us is regret. It's poison. And I push so hard, and will, through my vehicle, which isn't meditation, which isn't health and wellness, which isn't nonprofit. My vehicle's business. I can't help it. It's what I love. I love building businesses. I love competing with you. I want to beat you. I love that game. But through that vehicle, I will always push a lack of regret and awareness to how good it really is. You're more than welcome to tell me about how bad it is or why you can't, because, or what, but it's just not true. Because if anybody ever did it, then you can too. Stop making excuses. Stop complaining. Nobody's listening. They may pretend they're listening. The market doesn't care. What you need to do is make one person happy, you. Then you can make everybody else happy. You know why I like making people happy? Because I'm already happy. And so I implore you to take this last little rant and really look at your fucking face and understand, are you doing the things that are putting you in a position to succeed? Not just in the business world, but in life. Because it's super important, because boy, when you're happy in life, your fucking business can roll. And so I'm just trying to figure it out. And I've been trying to figure it out in front of you for the last 7, 8 years. Trying to figure out the unlocks. EQ, IQ, self-awareness, hustle. I don't know what they are. You know why? Because like I told my man, it's 330 different unlocks. And so I'll go to all of them. They're all tried and true. And one might hit you. Yeah, it was hard work because I'm actually lazy. I talk a good game, but I'm full of shit. Or it might be something else. But fuck, one. And so, you decided to sit? You're into this, right? It's good, right? This is some good shit. You're gonna remember this? Good. One fucking life. One life, my friends, one time. And honestly, I'll leave you with this because a lot of you need it. How you make your money is more important than how much you make.
going to tell you something that every successful person has to do, including you. Believe it or not, every successful person in this world has jumped. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. You are going to have to jump. You cannot just exist in this life. You have got to try to live. If you are waking up thinking that it's got to be more to your life than it is, man, believe that it is. Believe in your heart of hearts that it is. But to get to that life, you're going to have to jump. Now, I'll tell you why I call it jumping. See, God, when he created all of us, he gave every last one of us a gift at birth. He never created a soul without endowing them with a gift. You just got to quit looking at gifts as running, jumping, singing, dance. It's more than that. It's if you know how to network, if you can connect dots, if you draw, if you teach. Some of y'all fry chicken better than anybody else, bake pie. Some of you cut hair, color hair. Some people do grass. I got a partner, man. Never wanted to go out with us because we stayed out too late. Come on, man, go out with me. Now I got to get up early tomorrow. I'm cutting Miss Johnson grass. We kept laughing at this dude, cutting grass. How much they pay you? He got a landscaping company in Cleveland worth $4 million. Because all he do is cut grass. But he was gifted at it. I got a partner on a detail shop, make $800,000 a year detailing cars. He got 6 mobile trucks running around. $800,000 a year. All he do is detail cars. That's his gift. That's what he loved to do. You've got to identify that gift. Now listen to me. When you see people in life, when you're standing on the cliff of life, when you see people soaring by, when you see people soaring, going to exotic places, you hear about them doing wonderful things. Maybe you look up the street and your neighbor just gets a car every year, every 2 years. You know, how is he doing that? Have you ever thought, maybe this person right here has identified their gift and is living in their gift? Because your Bible says, this your Bible, says your gift will make room for you. Your gift, not your education. You go get an education, that's nice. But if you don't use your gift, that education only gonna take you so far. I know a lot of people got degrees, man, they ain't even using it. It's your gift. But the only way for you to soar is you got to jump. You got to take that gift that's packed away on your back. You got to jump off that cliff and pull that cord. That gift opens up and provides the soar. If you don't ever use it, you're going to just go to work. And if you're getting up going to work on a job every day that you hate going to, that ain't living, man. You just existed. At one point in time, you ought to see what living's like. But the only way to see what living like, you got to jump. And here's the problem. Let me just be real with you. When you first jump, let me tell you something. Your parachute will not open right away. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you it did, but it don't. When you jump, it's not going to open right away. You're going to hit them rocks. You're going to get some skin tore off on them cliffs. You're going to get all your clothes tore off. You're going to get some cuts on you. You're going to be bleeding pretty bad. But eventually, the parachute has to open. That is a promise of God. That ain't a theory, that's a promise. His promises is true, because listen to me. You cannot name one single thing God has not gotten you through. Name it. And if he ain't got you through it, he currently pulling you through it right now. And the living proof of it is you sitting in here. If he hadn't got you through it, you wouldn't even be here. So if he ain't never not got you through it, why would he not let your parachute open? It has to open, man. But you gotta jump though. Now, here's another thing. You can play it safe and deal without the cuts and the tears. And you can stand on that cliff of life forever safe. But if you don't jump, I got another promise I can make you. Your parachute will never open. You'll never know. You'll never know what God really has for you. See, your God has a wonderful life for you. Once again, I'm going to refer to your Bible. Now, you go down there, you memorize these scriptures, you don't apply them to yourself. Your Bible says that he comes to give you life and give you life more abundantly. If I were you, I would jump. Because that's the only way to get to that abundant life. You got to jump, man. You got to take a chance. Now, when I get through talking, there are those of you who discuss this in the car. Well, I got bills. And I got bills. Whether you stay on the cliff or you jump, you're going to have bills. Well, if I quit my job, I'm going to ruin my credit. If you got a job, you live in check to check. Even if you got A1 credit, you can't buy nothing else no damn way. Do yourself a favor, man. Before you leave this world, before you die, jump. Just jump one time.
If you only have 24 hours in a day, your success is dependent upon how you use the 24. You got to hear me. People talk about Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett. Listen to me. I don't care how much money you make. You only get 24 hours in a day. And the difference between Oprah and the person that's broke is Oprah uses her 24 hours wisely. That's it. Listen to me. That's it. You get 24. I don't care if you broke, you grew up broke. I don't care if you grew up rich. I don't care if you're in college, you're not in college. You only get 24 hours. And I blew up literally. I went from being a high school dropout to selling 6,000 books in less than 6 months. What happened? My 24 hours. I was like, okay, Eric, you got to get a grip on your 24 hours because you're about to be broke for the rest of your life. And that's all I need you to do for me. I can tell you all about your life if you just write down your 24-hour schedule for me and you let me look at it. I can tell you where you're going to be in 5 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 10 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 20 years if you keep that schedule.
I had a teacher in 8th grade. 8th grade tell me I wasn't going to make it in high school. 8th grade, I had a teacher telling me that foolishness. And what did I do? I proved them right. I went to high school wilding out. 9th grade year, wild out so bad that school kicked me out. They was like, we can't even take this no more. Kick you out. Go to another school. I completely flunked that. Go to a 3rd school and finally begin to get my act together. I proven everybody who did not believe in me right, and the few people who did believe in me, I proved them wrong. Again, we dealing with it matters of the heart now. A lot of times we behave in the way we behave because we don't feel like we got worth or value. We don't really recognize the heritage of who we are and what we can do. So we just on that, I'm just going to do whatever and get a couple laughs. But when you recognize how great you are, when you recognize that champion that's inside you, you'll say, you know what, I got more to give. There's more to life than this right here. I deserve better. You deserve better. And then you'll say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to prove everybody who didn't believe in me wrong. And the few people who do believe in me, I'm going to prove them right. And when you do that, everything inside your life changes. I just start saying, before I make decisions, I just start saying, okay, is this going to make my mama proud? Or all the people that's hating on me, is this going to make them say, see, I told you. I'm in India speaking. I found out the culture in India, there in Bangalore where I was, has the highest suicide rate. Because if these kids do not do well in high school, they know they won't go to college, and they know for the rest of their lives they'll end up in poverty. And they said, I'd rather die than be in poverty. That's what you call desperation. But you gonna settle for whatever the world gives you? You gonna settle for living how your mom and dad live now? I'm telling y'all, my young friends, you ain't gotta settle for that.
Most people think that the people that are at a very high level in society are cut from a different cloth. They think that they're literally a different breed than them, and that they can't get those things. So that's kind of interesting, right? And it's always kind of a shocker to have the myth of that person burst. But see, here's the thing. Although we're not cut from a different cloth, the fact that I mastered consistency is the difference. And most people will never do that. No one wants you to succeed, right? Only your mom. And even your mom doesn't want you to succeed because she's afraid you're not going to call her back. Your brain doesn't want you to be a big success. Your brain just wants to keep you alive. All your brain wants you to do is just pump out 1 or 2 kids so the DNA can continue on. That's it. Your brain will trick you. You are your own worst enemy. I know that if I fail to do that, that I am not instilling those habits that's going to have a big picture, long-term goal. Dudes, talent is overrated, homie. There's no price too great for me. There's nothing too great. I would die for my dreams. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to risk it. There's nothing too great. There's no amount that I'm not willing to go. You can accomplish anything you want, man, if you're willing to do it, right? But again, you'll realize that what you think you are is not what you are. You become something else. You literally become something else. If you want to be someone who's tireless, you cannot be tired down. You'll become something else. So you don't have those limitations a normal human being has. You don't have that because you become something else. You become something that embodies certain things that you're trying to move forward. You'll go to any length. So you're not gonna get tired because dude, at that point you have God on your side. That's not even you anymore, dude. It's like, you know how? What I do is I focus on maybe 1 or 2 or 3 things at a time, and then I just do it. And then I get that done, and then I do the next thing. And then I get that done, and then I do the next thing. No one's gonna put you on. You have to put yourself on. No one's gonna put you on. See, so you make that choice. You just do your small task and you do it. But see, no one wants to hear that. Success is about just quiet little actions, getting rid of anything that's unnecessary. Success is like a quiet daily set of tasks. Real small. Real small. It's very quiet. It's a very quiet process where you're just drawing your state from within yourself, doing these like simple little tasks, but finding love in those simple little tasks. It's not this big rah-rah speech where you do this one thing and something big happens. I'm tired. I don't want to do it. And I got a million reasons not to do it. But what I do is I make the choice that I say, if I can't make myself go do this, how am I going to live my dreams? I have found that if I miss one day, I'll miss every day.
I would hate to die and never do the thing I was born to do. This life that you dream about is yours. That thing that stirs in you, ain't it something that you just can't shake? Every time you get settled into a career, something keep on bubbling, something keep on. What is that thing? What you think that is? That's that seed he put in you since birth. But it just needs nurturing. It needs watering. It needs fertilizing. You got to watch it come up. And success ain't easy. You got to do some things for it to grow.
The wealthiest place on the planet. It's not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. He said the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. There you see potential never realized. There you find books never written. There you find ideas never acted on. Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau said, oh God, to reach the point of death, only to realize that you've never lived. Only to realize that you've never scraped the surface of your potential.
King, don't sell your soul for material things. See, you gotta remember the reason why you started this. You gotta remember the reason why you put your blood, sweat, and tears into this. Remember, we ain't do this to shine on nobody. We did this to take care of somebody. We know what we want. You know what you want. To accomplish something they said you can never accomplish. We want more out of this life. No longer will we listen to the doubters. No longer will we listen to the echoes of people who never believed faith in themselves. We're not going to taste the dollar. We're going to taste the purpose. We're going to remember why we started. Focus on the purpose. Focus on your why. And focus on the things that you're willing to give your life for.
You spend thinking about what somebody else has is taking away from time that you could create something for yourself. You're losing. You're losing because you're laying in your bed looking at somebody's fucking glamorous photoshopped picture of them doing something cool, and you're envious and you're jealous and you're impatient, and it's crippling your upside.
Yeah, because that's where I want to be, and I know I'm not there yet.
You haven't done shit.
I know.
So go do shit that actually gets you there so that you earn it instead of like you dwelling that you're not there and hoping something's gonna happen. I don't know what's going through your mind. You've got to deploy patience and you've got to love the process. I'm addicted to the process of the battle scars, the setbacks, the lack of, Taylor, I gave up my entire 20s, all of them. Imagine not doing anything fun or going anywhere for the next 8 years, including Saturday and Sunday. That's what I did from 22 to 30. Every day I spent 15 hours a day in a liquor store, thought about a liquor store, built a liquor store, sold wine. If you really want to win, you need to stop giving a shit about what anybody else has and realize that if you put your head down and just work for the next 10 years, no glamour, no new fucking car, suitcase, jewelry, trip, event, no Coachella, no fucking new fucking sneakers, like fucking work, you will have it. And every time you care about one of the things I just mentioned, it will slow down your process of having it.
The single most powerful idea anyone looking to succeed in anything, sports, career, fitness, finance, or life can embrace is that success does not come from making a few major important decisions correctly, and in fact it's very much the opposite. The truth is, success happens when you make the smallest, seemingly easiest, apparently most insignificant decisions correctly, consistently, every day, for a long time.
In order to achieve success, it's not about doing this crazy, brilliant thing. It's not about the dramatic action where you think, it's like you just go against all odds, defy all odds, and it's this one dramatic action that gets you there. It's not about mastering, this complex skill. It's not about having this, innovative, disruptive idea that just changes the entire world. It's like, how can I disrupt the world? Like, that's how I achieve success. In reality, if you want to achieve success, it's about mastering the small, simple things.
It doesn't matter what you're born with. It doesn't matter your potential, how much, the silver spoon of money you have. All of that can be attained if you show up and you're willing to risk failure for success.
You have to be equipped mentally to endure this process. Knowing what you're about to go into is step one. Knowing it's an uphill battle, but a winnable one and one that's achievable.
Success has nothing to do with potential. It's all about the perseverance of somebody. That's what champions do. They show up to the event every single day.
Your life comes down to your decisions, and if you change your decisions, you will change everything.
Motivation has nothing to do with it. See, most people are waiting for motivation when motivation is just a spark to get things moving, but it's your commitment that gets you to the gym every single time. You don't go because you're motivated. You see, you don't do the things you know you need to do to reach your goals because you're motivated to do those things. You do them because you've got the mindset of a machine. You just say, every Tuesday, Thursday, this is what I do. Every Tuesday, Thursday, this is what I do. Every Tuesday, Thursday, this is what I do. You just fucking do it because that's what you set out to do. When the time comes to do the thing, you just do the thing. You don't think about it. You don't wait for the muse. You don't wait for motivation to come. Motivation's some bullshit. You don't need motivation. You need commitment and discipline.
When you are moving towards something that's important to you, when you've got a big vision, when you're working towards a goal, you don't want to sit down. You can't rest. Every single waking moment of your day is dedicated to moving forward, and sleep, it's like the cousin of death. And you need to get busy, focused on where you're going, so much so that everything else is a distraction.
You should seek failures. See, if you're playing it safe, you're not going to win. If you're playing it safe, like that old saying, you were taught when you're a little girl, better to be safe than sorry. Well, that's a bunch of crap. It's not better to be safe than sorry. It's by trying things that you figure out how far you can go. You got to get outside the box. Like it's reported, Edison tried 3,000 ways before he built the incandescent light. He said he didn't fail 3,000 times. He said there was 3,000 different steps to building a light bulb. Well, there's different steps to get to where you're going. And I really do treat winning and losing exactly the same. I do not let it upset me.
Do you think that's a big part of why you're so successful?
Well, it's part of why I enjoy it. Yeah, I think it is, because I'll try anything. Like if I'm into an idea, the idea of losing never enters my mind.
You're going to get thrown to the ground again and again and again. But when you have determination, and you know that what you're doing is right, it gives you your life, it gives a special meaning and power to you, you will have some power from on high. You will discover some things about yourself that will begin to electrify your personality. You'll begin to discover some things about you that you don't know you've got.
You have to understand, I don't give a fuck about the end goal. I care about the process, the enjoyment of doing it. You're not enjoying yourself trying to get to $1 million over the next 3 years. You need to start fucking loving the process and the work and the grind. You need to start respecting people that are like sleeping with 4 roommates and buying their t-shirts at Walmart. Don't beat yourself up. Don't hold yourself accountable to arbitrary bullshit fantasies. Just put in work and enjoy that. Enjoy eating shit and dirt and bleeding and the grind, and don't give a fuck about what anybody else thinks, why you haven't done it, why are you doing that.
What I will not do is I will not quit. And so I'm saying to somebody right now that's watching me, baby, you got greatness all inside of you. You got greatness all inside of you. But your problem is you a scaredy cat. You soft. And every time it get hard, you quit and you give up.
Okay, success is a process of simple positive actions repeated consistently over time. Okay, it's not this crazy thing. It's the simple stuff that you already know how to do. Okay, there's nothing missing, and this is big. Like, we always tend to think that in order to be successful, we need this superhuman skill or ability. Not really. Okay, you already have it all, and you already know how to do it. Okay, successful people, they don't have anything that you don't have. Okay, we're all cut from the same cloth. The more you hang out with them, and this is something that I'd highly recommend doing, the more you can kind of see behind the scenes, the more you realize, like, shit, you know, they're just like me.
Successful people do what they have to do, whether they feel like it or not. Successful people do what they have to do, whether they feel like it or not. Successful people do what they have to do, whether they feel like it or not. You should tell yourself that 1,000 times a day. Repeat it over and over and over and over again, because you're going to bump up against resistance. There's shit you're not going to want to do. But if you want to be successful, right? And like I said, the very first thing is you've got to figure out what success means to you.
As Joseph Campbell said, we're so engaged in doing things to achieve purposes of outer value that we forget the inner value. The rapture that is associated with being alive is what it's all about. That, my friends, is the name of the game. You've got to figure out what it is that actually makes you feel alive. And if you understand that the game that you're playing is actually a game of brain chemistry and that nothing else matters, there's no objective truth, there's no one path to glory, there's no one life for you to live. There's only the subjective truth, the thing inside you, that gut instinct, that voice that whispers to you. You've got to learn to trust that. You've got to learn to trust it by building it up. You've got to learn to trust it by taking actions and gut checking yourself and asking, is that me? Is that who I want to be? Or is that somebody else, cultural voice, my parents, my lover, whatever, trying to speak through me? And as Harley Davidson said, when writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. So right now, ask yourself, who's writing your story? Is it you? Are you really listening to the voice in your head? Are you looking at and living by the things that give you the chills? Or are you trying to live a life that somebody else wants for you? And remember, when you think about that question, what William James said. Act as if what you do matters, because it does. Even if for nobody else, every step you take, every
thought that you allow to permeate your mind, everything that you obsess about, your dreams, the things that you want, the hopes that you spend your time with, they matter to you because they tell you who you are. They tell you who you're trying to become. And ultimately, those things that you let monopolize your mind will become you. So if somebody else is holding the pen, if somebody else is forcing you to write something that doesn't make you feel alive, that is a life lost. And that is how you die, my friends, before you ever had a chance to live.
I think I've discovered the secret to changing anything.
And what was it?
So I called it the 5-second rule because I never intended to talk about it. It was a cheat to beat the alarm clock. Here's how it goes. The alarm rings in the morning. Most of us don't want to get out of bed, right? But we know we should. So I would go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The moment the alarm rang, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just like NASA, what they do, they count down to launch a rocket ship. And the counting backwards kind of shut my mind off. And then suddenly at 1, I would stand up. And I would use this every single morning to get out of bed. And 9 years later, I still use it every single morning to get out of bed. I think some behavior you can learn and automate. Other stuff that you don't like doing, you're going to always have to push yourself.
You know, and so you're waking up every day with this concept of, I have 24 hours and they're mine. This 24 hours belongs to me. Right. And whatever I do in this 24 hours will determine where I'll be tomorrow and the next day. And I think that's what people need to focus on. Like, get off of this, I want to make 6 figures. I want to drive this car. I want to live in this house. I think what people should be focusing on is, I have 24 hours. Like, Oprah only has 24. Yeah. Bill Gates only has 24. Like, Warren Buffett only has 24 hours. And in that 24-hour period, I can either break my life or make my life. I just think that goals for people is too high on the priority list. And I think what should be on the priority list is going to bed so you can wake up the next day and you can grind it out.
For you, when you truly have a vision for your future that inspires you, you're going to jump up out of bed in the morning and feel great about going at life versus being miserable and going to a job you hate or living a life that doesn't empower you and just, you know, every day moving through just almost like an automaton, not really, you know, having the zest and the greatness of life.
Your mind will give you good excuses. Things like, I'm too tired to fight this addiction. I'm too tired to believe for my marriage. Too tired to stretch to the next level. Been doing it so long. If you dwell on those thoughts, you will allow weariness in. You'll become more tired, more weary, more discouraged, more negative. Weariness cannot automatically come. You have to open the door. When thoughts tell you it's never going to work out, it's been too long, just say no thanks. I know my time is coming. I know God is still on the throne. I am strong in the Lord. I've been armed with strength for this battle.
If you actually believe something, you try your best to make it happen. It doesn't always happen, but it happens most of the time.
What dream or vision do you want to turn into reality? You know, one day I'm going to stand up to that crabby boss. I look good on paper. I should feel great. I just know there's more. You know it because you feel it. You lie awake at night. You talk about your dreams with your partner and your friends, but more often than not, you continue to do those same behaviors that keep you from making the change. You ask yourself, how can I make it happen?
You have to be equipped mentally to endure this process. Knowing what you're about to go into is step one. Knowing it's an uphill battle, but a winnable one and one that's achievable. And at the end of this race, you're going to be more capable. The first step, guys, is knowing it's a tough road. But through that effort, builds the character of the person you want to be at the end. You get the mind right. If you believe it, your body physically will find a way to make it happen.
I have to tell each and every one of you that it doesn't matter how
how old you are, how young you are, your age, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I always say, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And the reason that I always say that is because I didn't grow up with things being handed to me. I had to work hard, I had to dedicate myself, and I had to be determined, and I was.
So I love people to tell me no. I love people to tell me don't, it won't, impossible. And I always tell the kids at Slam when I talk to them, I say, remember, in the word can't is the word can, in the word don't is the word do, in the word won't is the word won, and in the word impossible, which my daughter taught me, is possible. So when you apply that to everything that we got going on, man, I'm just having a lot of fun. You know, and that's why it feels like I don't think we're doing enough, to be honest with you.
Even outside of sport, it could be education, it could be business, it could be anything. It requires discipline and hard work and determination. Most importantly, it requires self-belief, because like me, some people might not believe in you, but you have to believe in you. And sometimes you're going to be your own cheerleader, and you have to be your biggest and your best cheerleader. So to all you young athletes, take that to heart and never stop believing in yourself, and really always support who you are.
I think that the number one thing is you have to have a very clear vision, a very clear goal of where you want to go, because only then you will get there. You can have the best airplane or the best ship in the world, but if the captain doesn't know where to go, he will just drift around. If the pilot does not know where to go, he will just drift around with his plane. So I think the key thing is that we know where we're going, and that you're very passionate about that, that you see it always in front of you, the goal. The other thing that's important is that you got to shoot for the top. You got to go and really have big goals and think big, because then you're going to get big. Then you're going to go and achieve big things. That is the most important thing. You know, we don't achieve big things by accident.
I don't think it's enough just to love it and then just to do it and go out and win it. It's not that simple. You need to have structured goals. You need to tell yourself, okay, what are my goals for the short term? What are my goals for the long term? Now that I've accomplished almost everything, and you have to be so clear in your mind exactly what you want to do and what you want to achieve. And for me, it doesn't work without any goals, without any targets. I cannot compete properly.
I believe that we're all born with lots of goodness in us. But life throws curveballs. Life, the ambition of being alive, helps us dream. And if you've been given a dream, don't discount that because you're not good enough yet. Develop yourself, weaponize yourself, teach yourself to be so good at something that is necessary to serve in the area of your dream that now you're never even thinking about your comfort zone.
You can live the life you desire. It's right there in front of you. But in order to achieve it, you must first see it, then believe it, and then you must graciously ask and train your brain to help you execute your vision.
If you have a big mission or purpose or dream, and it's beyond your comfort zone, which is really what they call your strengths now, right? Hold on. What should be important is the dream. And your dream and your purpose or your mission should never be made to bow down to your limited human strengths.
If you find a fear, the quickest, the easiest way you can beat it is initially, right when it comes in. If you allow it to sit, it will grow roots and start breaking you down, destroying the potential of the person you can be. Again, the champions, guys. It's not their potential, it's not their genetics. It's their perseverance to always show up, always willing to fail, because in failure, that's part of success. Success is not, a marathon of life with just ups. Success is formulated through failures, through facing your fears, through falling down and getting back up. That's what creates the champion. Success does not define us.